All right, what's up, y'all? Vincent here, and today I got.
Thai fam.
All right, so I know most of y'all don't know who this is, so Ty, tell them who you are.
My name is Thai fam. I am the CEO of Asian Boss Boy, and I help Asian men be sexy and confident by adopting high value skills to be able to be the man that they want to be. And my whole goal is to help Asian men be the best version of themselves, be authentic while having the image, while having the communication skills, while having social confidence. And I'm so happy to be with Vince today to be collaborating on this video.
Based. All right, Ty, I'm not going to tell our story. I want you to tell us. How did we meet?
Bro, it's honestly, it's been a blur. I think when you mentioned not too long ago when we first reconnected a few months ago, you reminded me how we met. You know, you saw my content, you saw what I was doing, reached out, we hung out, we went to the gym. I invited you out to the climbing gym, we hung out, and you were inspired on how I create my business. My business at the time was helping Asian men get lean eating Asian cuisine. And you wanted to see how I ran my business in terms of advertising, sales calls. I actually even invited you to come work for me for a little bit to see how the DM process is, how outreach happens. I gave you the whole blueprint on how ads work, marketing, and bro, I'm just here to give, and we're all in this together. This vision of ours to help Asian men is bigger than me, is bigger than you, is bigger than any other Asian creator out there. And so for me, I just want to help the bigger vision to help change the stereotype of Asian men. And so, yeah, long story short, we've been collaborating, we've been meeting up, we've been hanging out every time you come to Seattle. And that's how we met, man. It's been a blur because it's been so long. I think it's been like a span of 3 to 4 years. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can clarify because it's literally been a blur. And just recently when we met up, it's been really cool to see your growth, really cool to see that we're working together and you're here back in Seattle.
Of course. So how I met Ty was I was just perusing Facebook posts. Like I was just, kind of just checking out what Asian people were doing on Asian Hustle Network. I think that was it. It was either Asian Hustle Network or Subtle Asian Fitness. But all I saw was like, all right, this guy, he's not big, so he should be relatable. Like if I reach out to him, I think we could have something going. And he inspired me to start my own online fitness business. Right? This guy got me into it. He made me believe that I could do it as well. And I was able to get the sauce from him. But more importantly, I really admire like his authenticity. Just, he treated me just as a person, not as like someone who was just, trying to take or just someone who wanted to, get insider information. He treated me like a person and we became good friends after that. So that's, me clarifying the rest of the story. But anyways, let's get some more context from Ty and his background. And, let's go a little bit into just because Ty is all about helping Asian guys. And I'm an Asian guy too, but we have similar cultures, but we also have we grew up differently. So I wanted to know, Ty, what are your thoughts on growing up as an Asian person and how did that affect your preliminary beliefs?
So when I was growing up, I would just say this, I'm very privileged. Like compared to a lot of Asian families, I still have my parents. It's very rare to still have your parents together and love each other. So I'm already very privileged to have that. I also live in Bellevue, which is the more affluent area of Seattle. So it's another way of me feeling privileged. So to be honest, I never really felt any struggle. Going to school, I was around white people all the time. But I always had a sense of, I'm a Vietnamese American. I've always had that. I love being Vietnamese. I love being Asian. There's no doubt in my mind that I didn't want to be Asian, right? So I had a really good identity of what my culture is, who I am. It wasn't until I put myself into the struggle, right? Obviously, we have a roadmap of going to school, get your degree, get a good job, and you eventually, find your wife and you have a family. But I kind of strayed away from that path, and I decided to do my own thing, and that was to fitness, right? And that's when I knew what real struggle was. But going back to childhood, growing up, I always knew my identity as a Vietnamese Asian American.
Yeah. So, like, what are some specific things that you like, or think that people have that have socially like pressured you about when it comes to like being Asian? Because I know, like me, like I was kind of the same way. I grew up in America. I grew up white neighborhood, all that. When I went to school, I was like usually the only Asian person in my class. When I was in kindergarten, I had like my wake me up scenario where it's like, okay, I don't know English. I'm the only Asian guy here. I can't relate to anyone. And gradually, I managed to meet more Asian people and become more ingrained with the culture. So, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts were I found my lane. When I moved to a different school in middle school. I was able to find friends that like what I liked. Anime, cartoons, like Ed and Eddie, SpongeBob, like the kid stuff, right? It wasn't about our culture, but it just happened to be that the people that liked what I liked were Asian, and I gravitated to that. And so that's how I kind of came to a space like, man, like being Asian is cool, right? And being different is cool. Like to me, I was like, wow, I'm gonna be totally different from everybody else. I embrace the Vietnamese language. I embrace being different. I embrace being the underdog, to say the least, right? And for me, that was one of the things that stood out to me as I continue to grow up and reflect on my childhood.
All right, Kai. So now let's move along a little bit later in life. I want you to kind of pinpoint the area of your life where you felt like you had the most issues, like you had the most amount of concerns, and kind of just tell us about those. Just tell us about the time in the trenches before you started putting the work in.
Man, it started with high school. Like I think a lot of Asian men deal with dating, being validated, being seen, and I've also dealt with that. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be dating. I saw a lot of my friends. I mean, the social pressure of losing your virginity early, just having bodies. For me, I was so convicted that I'm gonna marry the right person before I do any of that. I wasn't religious before, and I grew up as a Buddhist man. But my family instilled in me that, hey, wait for the right person. So the struggle happened in high school where I really wanted to find like a girlfriend. And so I did. I leveled up, I improved my looks, but the real struggle happened when I broke up with my second girlfriend. And that's when I realized I had a lot of insecurities. I dealt with being possessive, being controlling, being insecure. I just had some issues with confidence where I didn't like her hanging out with her guy friends. That's all she did. That's all she had was guy friends. And I didn't allow her to hang out with them. But after a year of dating, she broke up with me, and I struggled with self-love, right? I was struggling with validation. And so that's when the self-development started. It was my second girlfriend I ever dated for a year.
That was the canon event, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now tell us about how that all started. Just the self development. All right. You pinpoint the moment. Now tell us what you actually started doing.
Yeah, what I started doing was I asked for help. And it's very hard as an Asian man, as a man in general, to ask for help. Luckily for me, I was raised by my mom, who is very feminine. I have very feminine characteristics that I kind of had to develop. It's just very natural. I'm very emotional as a person. I'm very vulnerable. And so asking for help from my mom, my friends, I asked, hey, I need some support. I need comfort. So that's when it first started. I was like, I love my family. I love my friends because they were there for me, right? And so that love carries over to everything that I do. It's like, I want to love as many people as possible and just give. And so that has been the biggest turning point of my life was having a community, having friends, having family, like true family. You're not born into a family, you get to choose your family. So I chose my family, I chose who I want to spend time with, and they really helped me reflect, give me validation. I learned to love myself again.
All right, cool. So, the main word that you used in most of your marketing was confidence. You're all about building confidence in Asian men, building confidence in whatever aspect they put their minds to. So, first of all, you're gonna have to define what that means because it means something else to everyone else. So, Kai, what is your definition of confidence?
Confidence means to be the best version of yourself, to be authentic, to be vulnerable, to be unapologetic of who you are. Because on social media, you can fake it. You can fake confidence. You can talk nice, but deep down, when you have nothing else, you have no more money, you don't have any cars, you have the girlfriend, you're broke, you're down bad, you're in the dirt, you're in the trenches. Can you still be confident? Can you still say, here are my values? I'm gonna be bold about it. I'm gonna tell you my values. I'm gonna tell you, hey, I'm broke right now, but I'm the most peaceful version of myself. And can you voice that? And if you're confident, you're not gonna let anybody condemn you, right? You're not gonna seek validation. You're gonna actually be more vulnerable. And so confidence means being able to be unapologetic on who you are, your values and your convictions, and being the best version of yourself.
And why do you place so much emphasis on having Asian men build this?
Because we have adopted it from our family, right? We seek validation from our family in terms of your career, who you dating, who you marrying, do you have kids? Like you're seeking validation from other people. You're seeking validation from your friends. You're seeking validation from women, right? It all stems from the very beginning, right? Who are you getting A's for? You're getting A's for your parents. Who are you getting a girlfriend for? You're getting it for you, but everyone's asking, who is your girlfriend? You're getting validation from your career. And with that, our identity isn't actually about ourselves. Our identity is from our career, right? You ask someone, it's like, who is Tai Pham, right? Most people will answer, I'm a coach, I help Asian men, I help them become confident. Your work is not your identity. Your identity is, I'm a good son, I'm a good friend, I'm gonna be a good husband, I'm gonna be a good father, I'm a child of God. Like that's your identity. That's your values. So my emphasis is to change the way that Asian men see themselves, because you're more than just who you are in terms of your academics, your accolades, and your accomplishment, right? You want to see people as people. You want to see people as who they are, regardless of the finances, the money, the things they have. I want to be friends with you because you are you. I don't care about what you have. And so that's my emphasis on the guys, and which is funny, we're gonna go on a side tangent real quick. Most guys who are on the come up are not gonna give the smaller guys a chance. But the guys who are at the top that have worked themselves up to fame, they're gonna give everything to the little guy because they know what it feels like. There's no competition. And so that's what I have to say in terms of confidence being authentic and why I wanna help change the identity or the shift of identity towards Asian men, and the term even high value man.
All right, cool. So, like, in general, I think my channel is mainly just about going over the broad topics that most guys need to get in order to have like a good life overall, right? Just like I think for me, my catchphrase is confidence through competence, right? You build that feeling of knowing that you can do these things by becoming good at them, and then once you become good at them, it becomes undeniable after that. So in general, the topics that I go over in my channel usually are things that every guy needs to work on. So I would, let's go into some detail over each one and get some ideas of how Ty would address them. So first off, let's talk about fitness. Tell us, your thoughts about fitness and what guys should be doing when it comes to their fitness.
in terms of fitness, first off, you gotta define what your fitness goals are, right? Do you want to get big? Do you want to look like a bodybuilder? Do you want to be aesthetic? So defining a goal that you want to achieve, that's gonna be number one. Number two is to have a goal and a plan on how you're gonna progress. And then from there, you can adjust here and there. But the biggest reason why I emphasize fitness is because it's the foundation of almost everything. Delayed gratification. You're not gonna be jacked overnight, right? You're not gonna get shredded overnight. You're not gonna get your dream body overnight. It's gonna take years and years and years. So if you're able to put in that work for that amount of time, bro, you're gonna feel good about it. That's why people show off their bodies like, man, I've worked so hard for this, right? And so for Asian men, I believe that fitness is gonna be the foundation because it's gonna give you discipline, it's gonna give you patience, it's gonna give you endurance, it's gonna give you strength, and you will eventually love yourself even more. You look at the mirror like, bro, actually, I'm my own role model, right? And so when you're your own role model, like you don't have anybody else to look after.
All right, cool. Now let's talk about dating. What are your thoughts about how dating is nowadays and your approach to finding, whatever you're looking for?
Dating now these days, generally, it's tough, right? Especially when in the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, dating is not easy. It's not easy. Beforehand, I was very adamant about dating. Every time I went on a date, I was like, I'm gonna date this one girl and I'm gonna marry her. So the next person I'm gonna date, we're gonna get married, right? But that's not the case. It's not the case because it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. You gotta get rejected. You gotta go through these hardships and these relationships to figure out who you want to be with, right? When I was 18, I'm like, I know exactly who I want. I know exactly who I want to be with. I know this girl is gonna be my dream girl. And now I'm in my 30s. I'm like, I think it's the total opposite. I barely know who I want to be with. There's a few things I have, but in general, dating is hard. But it's actually really fun because I'm not getting validation from them. I'm actually trying to see if they're going to fit my life because as I continue to level up, I want to see, I know I have value. I know that I can give a woman value. I can give her the life that she wants, right? Generally what we see is like when women come into the household, men are the head of the household, right? But one thing that they forget is we have to serve them. So as we continue to level up, we have to give her more. So we go back to giving. We come back to serving. We have to serve these women, serve our families, serve our kids, because we're the head of the household. People look up to you. And so for me, dating, it's fun. It's fun. It's like for me, I'm waiting for the right person. Like I don't sleep around. I'm no F boy. I don't have 100 dates under my belt. I probably have, about 20. I've probably gone on about 20 to 30 dates, right? But I kind of know who I want to be with. I kind of know who I want to be with. And I know within the first 5-10 minutes who this person is, and like who vibe, and and I'm respectful for it. There's no red pill, blue pill. I have conviction, I have values I follow, and if you don't follow it, cool. I'll be straight up with you. But dating right now is hard. It's hard, but I'm taking my time with it. It's all on timing at this point.
Of course. He doesn't need to be like me. He's his own guy. He can do his own thing. So now let's talk about fashion, because if you look at this guy's latest posts and all that stuff, this guy's always dressed up in suits and stuff. I only got one suit. So let's talk about what is his opinion on style and dressing nicely.
You are a walking billboard. You are a walking billboard. You are advertising yourself. It's not great to have a thought about, hey, just be who you are and you'll attract the right person. There's going to be one person out there. But if you don't put yourself on the best foot possible, it's going to be hard for you to advertise. Think about a book cover. You're probably going to pick the best book cover in the bookstore. It's that's colorful, right? Presentation matters. So what I think about fashion and style is it's a way for you to open the door, but your personality is going to keep you in the room. So for example, let's say you take a shy guy, first time going to a penthouse event, first time seeing all these guys in suits, first time seeing all these amazing women. They're pretty, they're beautiful, and you're in a suit. You think you fit in, but you come in, it's like, man, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Why am I here? I have no value. And so style is very important. Everybody should dress up, but you wear the suit, not the other way around. The suit should not wear you. So you still have to work on your personality, your confidence, your social confidence, your social skills. And the style is going to come into play because you put yourself together. First impressions matter. 80% of communication is nonverbal. So when you see someone dressing nice, you think, man, this guy has everything put together. But when you get to know him and you get to know his personality and your character, they're going to stick around.
Dope. And now the last aspect I want to cover is career. Now you have a very non-typical career, but I think it's very important for guys they gotta get their money in order. We need money to get our lives sorted out, to build a foundation, to have families or whatnot. We gotta take care of our stuff, man. So what are your thoughts on what guys should be doing to be making money?
It depends on the situation, right? It depends on how desperate you are. Depends on your environment. Some people don't have a choice but to work to live. Some people have a choice to live to work. And so for me, my biggest thing is going against the grain, right? We're going to go back to the validation point. Are you doing something because of your family? Are you doing something because someone told you to? Or would you rather do something that you love, put yourself in hardship so that at the end of the day, you become successful? I mean, who doesn't like a good glow up story? And so everybody struggles, right? Whether you come from privilege, whether you come from poor, you choose your own path. And there's no right or wrong answer, right or wrong path to choose. But do you have conviction? Do you have the authority in your life to actually control what you want to do? And so there's a lot of struggles that's going to happen. Whether owning a business is hard, right? I wish I was working under a guy who was going to pay me every single week, every couple of weeks. But in terms of career, in terms of money, definitely get your money right. But that should not be a limiting factor for you not to be social, not to dress well, not to take care of yourself, not to go to the gym, and live a life that you deserve, right? Get your money, but also don't take money and your career and what you're doing as your identity, right? You're more than that. You're more than just your money, because at the end of the day, when you lose your money, who's going to stick around? Who's your friends that are going to stick around? Are you going to respect yourself when you don't have money? Do you have confidence when you don't have money, right? Money is not the main factor for a lot of people, and it should not be the identity of Asian men.
All right, now let's put everything together. How does one take all of these aspects and build themselves into an encompassing overall man? Let's go over some overlaps, like how does doing better in one aspect affect your ability to improve in another?
Sure, this is a tough question because everybody's different. Everybody's in a different season of life. I believe there should be some non-negotiables in everybody's routine to be successful. One is, if you're spiritual, tap into your spiritual life, right? If you love God, and you read your Bible, lean into God in the spiritual aspect, right? That should be number one, because He will provide for you no matter what. Depending on what your spiritual aspect is, that's how I lean into it and I get strength from. Second is the fitness, right? Your body's your temple. Your body's your temple. When you take care of your temple, good things are going to happen. So having a workout routine, your nutrition on point, non-negotiable. 4 to 5 times per week, eat great, take care of yourself, and being able to move around and function every single day. You don't have to be big. I'm a small dude, right? I'm a small dude, but I take care of myself. And Looks isn't everything in terms of being ripped, having a six pack, and just being jacked. So foundation of fitness is number one. Oh, sorry, number two. That should be the foundation. Now with work and career, that should be also a priority, right? Whether you're applying for jobs, you gotta just be actively doing something rather than just sitting at home playing games on Discord, watching YouTube videos. Like, be active. After you click off this video, if you're not working, start working. Like, apply the jobs, find your passion, study. There's so many different resources out there. There's so many free resources that you can go about and learn and build a skill, build a skill set, be a salesman, be doing a course, learn something, right? That should be your career. That should be the foundation of money and having a structured life around money, business, career, all that good stuff. So those are some non-negotiables. I also believe that communication, right? Communication in terms of community. Having a solid guy group that you can be vulnerable with, share your thoughts, because a lot of guys are in monk mode. I don't believe monk mode is the right way to go, because you're only one mind, and your mind can be deceiving. Your mind and your heart can be deceiving. But when you have another friend that's going to give you a different perspective, that can encourage you, that can give you light, that is in the same boat as you or even better, that's going to give you a different perspective on how you can improve as a man. And he can teach you how to make money, how to get ripped, how to find success, how to find validation, how to be confident. So, like, if you're following Vince, you're seeing his content, and you're like, man, I want to be just like him. For Vince, he's looking for other people to level up. So we're all trying to level up. We're all seeking. And the last thing is being able to love yourself. Love yourself. Don't worry about the accolades. Don't worry about the things that you want, the things that you don't have. Be blessed that you have an opportunity right now to work hard. Be blessed to have an opportunity to live this life. And when you have that foundation, you have so much peace. When you're broke, when you have nothing, but you have a sense of peace, and it's a hard concept to grasp, but I've gone there. I've been there. When you're about to make a lot of money, but your mental health isn't there, and you're struggling, all you want is peace. All you want is peace. All you want is happiness. So I guarantee you, once you do all these things, you will find success, you will find validation, and you will become the best version of yourself.
Bet and very based. All right. Finally, for Ty, tell them what you're working on right now, and what are your immediate goals for the future?
My roadmap right now is helping as many Asian American men be sexy and feel confident while adopting a skill set as a high value man. So being able to give and pour into men that are really looking to level up authentically, right? That's my main goal. My second thing is being able to put more content out there that is authentic to me, that I'm not afraid to be judged about, and to commit to my values, right? Posting on social media, showing what I do. I'm not afraid to say, hey man, I'm approaching these girls, but I'm looking for the right one. I'm gonna be totally different from everybody else. That's gonna be the thing. I respect everybody, what they're doing. They have different methods. Cool. My goal is, the big goal is to change the stereotype of Asian men. Change the stereotype of what we look like. We're not the least desirable ethnic group right now. I want to change that. I want to show that Asian men have values, that we're fucking awesome, that we're amazing, and that we can love each other, and there's no competition. There's a bigger vision for all of us, and there's enough to eat. We have enough bread. We can break bread together and just collab.
Very nice, very nice. So I got a few final things to say. Just this guy right here, he is the epitome of being a good role model. Like, he taught me how to become a better role model myself. Because when I first reached out to him, I expected absolutely nothing. He was just some random guy that was within driving distance. I just hit him up, on the internet. But we gradually built a relationship because he just showed me that he was open to talking with guys that were interested, right? That feeling of authenticity, that people like him have open doors and they're not judgmental. They don't look down on you because you're trying to get something out of them. They're always open and free to have a conversation, and that's how I am too, right? If anyone is interested in getting some help from me or asking for advice, I always have an open door, and just the fact that we're still able to talk to each other like this. Like I haven't talked to Ty for a very long time, but knew that he's the type of guy where I could just reach out to him and we could reconnect instantly, and that's exactly why we're here today. So Ty fam, very based. That's my guy right there. All right. So, anyways, as always, we're done here. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and also subscribe to this man right here. And we're going to be doing another interview video on his channel. So when that's out, you guys can go watch that too. So, and anyways, as always, you can come join the Discord, Basecamp. I have free guides and resources for getting your self-improvement together, dating, fitness, fashion, and whatever else, all in the Discord. And of course, if you want dating coaching or fitness coaching, you can apply for that below. So that's all for now. What's my word, man? What's my favorite word?
Base.
Yeah. Stay base, and we'll see y'all next time.
Base.
Bye-bye.